Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Captain of Industry Beta. I'm going to say the beta specifically here because this video is our finale episode for this playlist. Yes. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but Charlie, you have so much left to do. And you're right. We do. We've made it most of the way through the tech tree, but there's still, I'm getting fuel gas synthesis and haven't even gotten into advanced smelting, haven't touched plastic or nuclear power or electronics. Oh, there's so much stuff. All right, but check this out, right? After Lab 5, this is it. This is not even available yet. So that means this whole thing here, it's not in the game yet, right? But it is in the early access version of the game, and that is what we are going to be starting instead. I put out a poll on the community tab. I recommend checking there if you want updates and stuff, but I put out a poll on the community tab asking you guys whether you'd like me to finish this playlist, finish playing this one, or do we stop and, start playing the early access version, which has a ton of changes, a lot of additions. We're going to have to approach the early game completely different, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff in that, and overwhelming majority, like over 85% as of recording this video with like 1,000 votes, want me to start over and get that, use what I've learned and get that start in that new version of the game. So that's what we're gonna do. I do want to fix a couple of things here, and I want to talk a little bit about, in this video anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the inadequacies that I have, and some of the things that I've learned, like mistakes that I've learned from that we can improve in the future. So I want to start with this. And you can see that we are, I'm boosting this to get rid of the exhaust, but I'm not getting the water in here in time, right? And that is the problem, right? So this is likely not going to work very well if you don't have enough water. Now, I'm fixing that kind of by mining this out. I'm going to put a pump over here. But another thing I could do, and I've already done it, is the low pressure steam here is getting depleted steam, right? And that depleted steam is now going around into this instead, okay? Which is no longer boosted because it doesn't need to be, but it's going here instead of just being burnt away. And we could do the same thing, this cooling tower approach. We could do the same thing over here now that we have enough parts. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna pause this really quick. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna place a cooling tower. I think I could probably put it anywhere, right? But if I put it here, then it just hooks up to the regular water grid. So I kind of like that. If I can nest this cooling tower like right here, and then we could take all this depleted steam that we're sending over to this, pipe here. What we could do is I could pull it off of this pipe real quick. We'll just go ahead and click that, and also that. Yep, and then we'll just delete this. And I want to show you, like, there's certain things, right, that you can absolutely do, that we could absolutely do better. And these are things that I can like plan for in the future now that I know they exist and all that stuff, right? So this depleted steam that's coming out of here, we just reverse the direction on this so that it all goes this way instead. I could do the same thing with this pipe here. I probably could just delete this entire thing, but instead of deleting it, I'm just gonna, I don't know, maybe merge it with here. Can I just merge it above this? No? Wow, you're going to be really difficult with me. It doesn't matter. You can see what I'm doing here. So we'll just connect this, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And then what we end up with, right, is this little system where we want you to go, oh, it won't let me because this is an out. Oh, you silly thing. All right, hold on. Reverse the direction and then do this. Then reverse this direction and reverse this direction. Okay, just had to flip it. All right, so we're gonna bring this over and stick it into a pipe balancer first. Yeah, I'll get it. Pipe balancer first. Stick it in there, and then it goes that way, okay? And so we just build this cooling tower, build this, and we hook the end of the cooling tower up to the water supply. Done. Okay, and so like this gives us the opportunity, right, to use the balance, to use the depleted steam for something valuable, like adding water to our system, right? That's a pretty valuable thing. And so that's another thing that we could do. And then I can redirect it over here if it can't go that way, right, then it has a place to go still, because we redirect it this way. So we say we want to prioritize 0 or O, and then we just go like so. I hook that up there. So like, and it's obviously maybe not the cleanest presentation of what it could be, but the point is we are now able to process depleted steam and get it out, right? Get it out into the area with water. We're using it to create more water, and that's what we should have been doing the whole time. Now, I've also added these 4 boilers on coal. And one thing I think I will do differently in the future is not relying on coal so far for power. There was an underlying plan for this, by the way. There was something that was going to remove coal from the equation here. It's future research, and I'll show you. It's, I don't know where it is, though. Electric boiler here. We're not that far away from it too. I already have power generation 4. I simply needed to get into electronics and maintenance. Once you research nuclear reactor, you can then get electric boiler. And the electric boiler just takes water and makes it into high steam. You don't need the coal anymore, which is great because it takes electricity instead. But the system is built to create electricity. So as long as you have power, you can create water, which allows you to have power, steam, have power, right? It's a cycle, right? We use the power to make the steam, we use the steam to make the power, and it goes back and forth. And I was adding more of these boilers in anticipation for that later, but also so that I could drive more water out of the system. I would like to expand this with, power expansions and stuff later too. So that was something I was looking at, right? Is getting those electric boilers. Now, one of the things you're going to see though, as I've added these, is that coal is kind of scarce right now, right? There's lots of big gaps in this now. And that has to do with the split that's happening all the way over here. How this is a very full belt, but yet it gets split here. So we can solve that problem. We also have trucks that are just waiting around because this is full, right? So we can solve that problem by upgrading this belt. And it's a lot of red parts, but I have them and I'm going to deliver them. And we'll see that this was going to increase the capacity of this belt by 3.3. I think it goes to 3.3 instead of 1, right? And so now we can basically take the supply from one belt and we could theoretically distribute it to 3 belts and have it be fully saturating 3 belts. So once this belt is done, it takes a while, like a long time, even with the Unity build, because there's so many parts to it. And this is going to basically shut down our power for a while I do this, but it is what it is. So I'm mostly just talking about things that I would like to fix and do differently in the future. Now we have a homeless problem, and that's mostly because the city isn't built yet, but we have the glass delivered. So I'm just going to Unity, deliver the steel because I want to see what these new tier 3 houses look like. And we're not delivering nearly enough household goods, right? Like tier 3, these are things that I was learning on the fly, and I haven't really gotten a good grasp on how they work and things like that. So I I wasn't optimal with it because this is the first playthrough, right? I mean, that's what I do on this channel. I'm not like an expert on the games. I play the first playthrough and I rock it, man. And that's what I like to do. So these are nicer houses, and you can see that our population has increased to 1,800 just by doing that, which is pretty nice. And now we get a Unity bonus by providing the household goods as well, which is a pretty big bump right there, right? So if you upgrade your houses, that's pretty sweet. So yeah, I would like to see this belt finish anytime now. Should move a lot faster. And at the end of it, we should now see that both of these belts are fully saturated. Very close to being anyway. I wouldn't say it does look like they could be tighter, but it's kind of good, right? This is what we wanted, right? This is a constant flow of coal in both directions. And that's because this belt is just so much better at doing what it does. But it's a lot of red parts, right? So you have to have the red parts to support that. And also, we can now see in real time whether or not we're producing enough coal, because this belt needs to stay up here. And you can clearly see we are not producing enough coal in this mine to support this, right? So one of the things I would do differently is I would rely less on coal for power. We have this whole arrangement all the way up here. Oh, was I gonna do the... I already did it, right? Maybe make sure I already did this. I routed these coal boilers this direction to go towards the water, but I also have them routed that way and hooking into the main system so that they can provide it with this too. Yeah. Good to go. So see, again, we're adding additional water into the system here now, which is really what we need to do. But you'll also notice that it's like sometimes it gets hung up, and so we might end up with a full. We're not though. It looks like it's actually pretty good, constant flow of water. But if we were getting hung up on that, right, then we could, we could work on it, or put a different route it somewhere different. Basically, is what I'm getting at. So yeah, that's great, and you can see the groundwater supply is also replenished now too, which is nice. So that's one thing I would do. I would take the steam that was generating from over here, and I would rely more on oil in the late game, because this boat is waiting around doing nothing, and it's pretty much because it can't drop off the oil. Right, we are so full on oil right now. We're underutilizing our oil supply. So I would be going more distillation stage. I would probably double this. I would go with 8 of these, and therefore I would have to go with 8 of these, and then 8 of these, and then we would have even 8 of these. We have even more sulfur to deal with, and I probably would need to set up sulfur processing into slag so that I could fill in these gaps a lot faster, right? Instead of relying on mining. One of the things I think I could do better in the next playthrough is rely less on trucks. Trucks are very unreliable. I've had so many issues with trucks just stalling out. We can't reach it. We're sitting around doing nothing. That kind of thing, it needs to stop, right? If I had to change it, I could do this now even, but I'm not going to, because finale and all. But I would put a couple of storage tanks right here instead, and I would belt it into this area, and I would belt it into this area, so it could be distributed without the trucks having to drive all the way over there, and I would just spend the extra for the belts, right? I didn't spend enough on belts this run. It may look like, maybe to the people who haven't played very often, it may look like I've utilized belts pretty well. And I think for the most part, nesting them around and spacing and everything I have, but there's certain areas where that could be improved. And I think another thing where I could maybe improve it was to not mix the formulas here. I think mixing the formulas here, while good on the surface, because it allows me to make more parts when I need them, it also depends on trucks constantly going back and forth here to deliver it to these different machines. Again, I want to I think the next time around, we're going to limit we're going to limit trucks basically in the next time around. I think that's definitely something that I need to look at doing. As far as the farms go, we've done pretty well here, but we're full on fertilizer, and it's been mentioned a couple of times that I could just not do this manure cycle, right? We could just skip right over into corn again, or double. Here's the potatoes, so why don't we just use corn one more time? And we could do that and just use the fertilizer to keep the fertility up. And that is true. That is how we could use it. The fertilizer gets used and it bumps the fertility up, which is perfect. Exactly what we needed, because then these things can keep running and keep producing and keep using the ammonia and all that stuff, right? But you don't want to do that for every single field. You want to do it situationally. So one of the things I would probably do is, instead of laying the pipe work for every single field right away for fertilizer, I would focus the fertilizer on maybe 5 fields or 6 fields, and the rest of these would not be wired for it. And the reason for that is because if your power grid is shaky, like mine is, then these chemical plants might shut down. And if they can't keep up with your fertilizer usage because you're using it on all of your fields, then your fertility will drop to 0 on your entire food supply and you will fail. So that was one of the things I was trying to avoid, is having the situation where I was just flat out going to fail because I didn't keep my power up. And going on that note, I would say that power is probably my biggest challenge in this playthrough so far. Power has been my... Maybe I should put this belt upgraded too, because it's still got gaps because it splits again here, right? Let's see what that does. If I split this belt, I wonder what... Or if I upgrade this belt, I wonder what happens, because this makes it 3x capacity, but you see now it's backed up, and so now everything's going that way anyway, and this is starting to go slower. So if I speed this belt up, I can keep the flow going, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking here. So let's do this too, and that way it goes full speed into this zone, and then it could be maybe thicker through this belt. I like that. But yeah, coal for power. I need to limit my coal usage. That's one thing that I need to do. There is a fixed supply in the game. I don't think I'm close to hitting it. There's a lot of coal still left here. We are hitting the bottom down here, but if you look at the resources, I mean, I've realistically only used maybe 60% of the coal that's available here, right? Like there's a lot more coal left. And then you look at over here, I basically haven't even touched this supply yet. Right, so we still have plenty of coal available. I haven't gotten anywhere near using all of it. But with the next version of the game, we're going to be getting into really advanced stuff that's going to take a long time to do. We're going to have, you know, faster conveyor belts available to us, faster pipes. This is available in this version of the game. I just haven't gotten there yet. And then, like, we're going to get into things like Space Center, right? Microchip production, which is complicated. Many steps to microchip production, right? We can go into a MOX reactor, which isn't even here yet. We can get solar panels, although it's very late game to get solar panels, but you can get solar panels or create solar panels so that you can build them and convert sunlight to electricity. Yeah. Surprisingly, the efficiency depends on how sunny it is. I like it. But look at this stuff. Like later on, you get into rocket assembly and launches, right? Cargo rockets, which take things to space stations. Lots of stuff coming soon. Have no idea how these things will work. Heavy cargo rockets. We eventually get to collect stardust. What the hell is this? And then the wormhole gate is the end game. Which again, what the hell is this? So there's a lot of stuff in the new game, and what I'm saying here, and look at this, like my food supply is low. We're about to die. I have no idea why. Hang on, what the heck is this? Prioritize to X, go. Why is my food supply at 11 months? How did that happen? All of these are empty. Yeah. So just pump the food straight out of, I don't want to use it here anymore, right? That's a big problem. Yeah, okay, hang on. I did this for too long. I wasn't paying attention. Here, we're gonna fix this right now. Oh, don't tell me you can't. Here, do this. Come on, cooperate. I mean, I'm just doing this to save my ass at the moment, so I don't really care what you look like. Here, do that, please. There you go, and we're good. All right, all this extra supply that shouldn't have been delivered here as fast as it was, you get to go that way now, yeah? And we'll have our food supply raise up again. Cool. Yeah, so anyway, food supply is going to get fixed. Coal, all right, I want to limit that. So we're going to use more. We're going to try to, you know, move ourselves into the direction of getting more oil than we do coal. And I'm going to manage that industry part better for the purposes of, you know, generating really the core of our infrastructure supply, namely, you know, diesel fuel, naphtha, burning naphtha for steam. Heavy oil needs to be burnt for steam faster. You can see we're doing it over here, right? This is burning right now because we have too much of it. So one thing I could do is, since this thing is waiting around doing nothing, we could take and maybe limit how much supply is here. So we could maybe go like this, just remove this from the equation, and I can then go in and redirect this belt off of this oil supply and have it go here. And now this is going to be an oil burner instead of a naphtha burner, right? And that's the way it goes. Boom, now you're burning something else, and you can just run and you can do things now as an extra oil burner, which hopefully shuts down that flare. Yep, see? So that's the kind of thing. I want to do better with water. I think initially I underestimated how much water I would need for various processes like this. Everything in the game takes water, and I just need to buckle down on that. It's not all about farms. Everything takes water. I mean, and the exhaust scrubbers are very water intensive as well, right? So I would do something better with that. Sulfur, I would need to establish an infrastructure that would process the sulfur, because you can see it's completely overloaded. And this is with this paused. I haven't even been bringing it in from this location. This is just, it's just creating it too fast. It's just getting it, it's just going to get backed up. This is full, you know. Sulfur just has no function in this game. And the problem with it is, like, some of your core infrastructure produces sulfur and you can do nothing about it. And it has no function. You can create acid with it, right? Obviously we create rubber with it, but if you're full on rubber, then you're screwed. So I need to sell the rubber. I never figure out where it is. Sell the rubber, get the wood, okay? And now we can produce rubber. Well, I thought we could. Oh, you only took it out of one? That whole supply here. I'll trade you again. Can we do this? Thank you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so like we need to process sulfur faster. I need to use, you know, for acid and stuff, we need to process that stuff faster. And yeah, I'm hoping sulfur has a better usage in the late game. But if it doesn't, then we will process it into slag, because that seems to be a good default. We can come into, where is it, slag? So you can take sulfur, mix it with limestone, and get slag in 20 seconds. And then you just use that slag. Maybe you crush it. You don't have to. You can just put the slag and you expand your territory with the slag. That's probably what I would be doing more of, because this took too long. I really wanted these ports up faster. And since I was prioritizing other things like digging trenches, which admittedly took a long time, and I think that set me back quite a bit, is digging trenches. I'm not going to stop doing it though. Next playthrough, I'm still going to be digging lots of trenches. I like that idea. I have no idea what the map will be. I'm going to use the new map in the early access so that we see something fresh that hasn't been used before, hasn't been on video before. We're going to use something, you know, a new, I guess, yeah. What is going on here? See these guys? They're just like, I can't reach the destination. And I'm going, why? Why can't you reach the destination? Because you guys ruined your only ramp? You know, there's a ramp right here, but you guys apparently ruined it. Which, I didn't tell you to ruin it. This is perfectly passable, at least it should have been. And it looks like it is, yeah. Perfectly passable. Alright, it goes... If I can get it to face the right way. Look, goes down to 6. This is all -5. So you go down to 5, right? 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, +1. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, by the way, this is +3. And I didn't tell you to mine this, but you did it anyway. You jerks. So, yeah, I need to maybe path mining a little bit better. That would be one thing I could maybe look into, is just getting better pathing for mining. Because like I've had to micromanage stuff like that way too often, and I don't want to do that anymore. So there's a lot of reflection in this, right? Like, this is a complicated game. It's not easy. And to get this to behave the way you want, you know, there's some critical systems that it'd be really helpful to know ahead of time. See this? Look at this. Now we're cooking. Look at all this, huh? Not sure what's going on here. Let's toggle the direction. And we're going to toggle... Nope, this one doesn't need toggled. Yeah, let's get that coal flowing in here, yeah? There we go. That's what we needed, right? So a couple of updated belts here, no big deal. And it's not like I was like ignorant of this fact. It's not like I didn't know I could upgrade the belt. It's that this took 150 red parts and I had better things to spend it on, you know? And now we're at the point where we just need a lot more coal mining happening over here, because it's feeding the power system and it's feeding everything. So I need like extra trucks doing this, right? I need these guys to never stop digging, basically. And then I can also have them dig into this, which is closer. And just keep them, you know, keep going a little bit deeper into this area. And then you can see they'll redirect themselves to come over here because it's closer. They'll do what I asked, which is nice. And we'll just kind of clean this interface up a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, if there's anything else... And usually, and I'll just be honest with you, because I like to be open and transparent with it, right? I'm usually fairly... How do I word this? I wanted to say dismissive, That's the wrong word. I usually don't respond, I guess, to, you know, backseat gaming. I usually just let it go. You know, when people have recommendations and things that they're really trying to push on me, you know, like, you should do this, I usually just respond with, okay, you have fun doing that in your game, you know? Like, when you play, you have fun doing that. Because it's like, I don't know, it kind of ruins the authenticity of what I'm going for, and the learning experience and sort of like the experience of the game itself. For me anyway, it does. But that said, you know, we're going to be going into a harder difficulty next time, because I feel like I know the early game pretty well now. And as a result of that, if you have anything that you maybe saw that you think might be helpful that I haven't covered in this little, I don't want to call it a rant, but this little, you know, assessment of skill, I guess, my mistakes, my reflection, if I haven't covered it in the reflection here, you know, feel free to point it out in the comments and be like, you know, try to do this more too, because this will help you or whatever. Like, I'm okay with that in this video. You can do that. It's okay. This is almost done, and when it is, we're putting in the big one, the big seawater pump. It's basically ready to go. I just need to go a little bit further so I can put it back in here a bit more. But like, it's got to be here, you know. Ground is not flat enough. Ground is not flat enough. It's just got to be right here, you know. And then I can get the seawater brought in directly here. We can process it, and then it gets into the system just fine. And then I don't have to use it for exhausting the rest of the island and everything, right? So I was looking at that too. But one other thing I think I would do better with is exploration. This is going to be faster next time around. I'm going to find specifically, and I don't know if the map is going to be the same. I hope it isn't the same every time, but if it is, we'll find out, because I'm going to go here very first thing, just to see if it's the same. And if it is, if there's an oil rig here again, then I will then head to this destination over here next. I want to get as many oil rigs as I can, and you can see they're basically full. This one is, right? It's full, just waiting around, and that's not good, right? So we want to be constantly moving towards that, which is why the second cargo ship would be a really helpful thing. And I could build it. I've already found it. I just haven't like repaired it yet. But if I did another cargo depot, I'm wondering if I could get this in here. I wonder if it's a small version, could I get it in here? You let me build this without... Yeah, you won't. So I would do that, though. I would get this to be, you know, more cargo. Definitely do more cargo, because that's a supply that's coming from the map. And it seems, I don't know if it's true, but it seems as if this is an unlimited supply. It doesn't seem like this ever runs out. And so because these two don't run out, I want to use them as much as possible, which is why I think I'm going to try to be less reliant on coal next time. Coal, I took it for granted, backfired a little bit. We're going to do the underground pipes again next time. And I kind of have this idea, which, again, I don't know what the map's going to look like because I haven't booted it up yet. As soon as I'm done recording this, I'll have the next version of the game, and I'll be starting recording already. It's Sunday now. I'll be recording already on Sunday. So, but I'm going to see if I can make like a nice grid network sort of thing underneath. It might take a lot of time, and it may not be worth it, but I would like to get pipes that go across, probably like 8 solid pipes that go across for various different resources. And they will have little sections that come out of the ground at various different points that will help in my manufacturing process. So I don't need to have these big pipes above ground like this. I would just be able to just, you know, hook them up and to the little thing that's sticking out of the ground and call it good. It's probably not worth it. That's why I say this, because it's so easy to lay these above ground pipes, and you don't have to know ahead of time where your stuff is, right? But for certain things, I think like water distribution, definitely something I would want to do. For things like, well, actually, I may not be able to do it. I can't do conveyors. You can't do conveyors in the next version, because if you... Can I do this? Do I have enough resources? There's no glass at all. Why is there no glass? That's curious. Am I out of sand? I'm not out of sand. I have plenty of sand. because we have tons of rock, and that rock is being constantly processed. Although I will say that the timings on the rock processing, right, is kind of I wonder if I can... Yeah, because this is full, that's why. So you need to be also directed to go this way as well, don't you? Yes, you do. I'm going to move you to go into here instead. And we're going to toggle the direction of this belt. And I think I might even toggle... Nah, this should be fine. Yep. Now we can get that to go into this side instead. Maybe we'll toggle this direction too, actually. Just let it come out and go around this way, right? Now we can process that stuff a lot faster. But I still don't get why this isn't happening. You're missing acid input. Oh. That's interesting. It's water. It's always water. Yep. So I would be focusing more on water. Water is, I guess, the next big thing, right? It's the next thing I have to worry about is water. Are you done? Or what? Like, what's going on here? You're just trapped? You're not, this isn't flat, but is it flat enough? Large seawater pump. And you are good to go. There's the large seawater pump. That's what I wanted. Quick deliver that. We can kill this. We don't need it anymore. Goodbye. Get you out of here. Sayonara. And we'll just go ahead and eliminate that. And this large seawater pump, we want this bringing water. You could say seawater, because that's, obviously what it's going to be doing. We'll get like a couple of tanks, hook it up directly. Why not? It'll just work that way. It theoretically should, right? Just bring seawater in right away. Yep, there it is. So it's going to hook directly to the storage. And then we'll start that same process over here too. Right? We'll just take like these, just these two. We can only handle two over here for now. Unless I can get another one in here. You think so? Can I get another one? I mean, even if it's not symmetrical or anything, if it fits. Yeah, because it's gonna collapse. It's gonna clash, guys. It's gonna clash with this one, so I can't do it. Yeah, no, it's fine. Just this one is cool. So we'll want to take these two here, and we'll bring that over, and we'll get that processing so that the water is being distributed this direction there too. And then we'll just dump the brine. We'll go with the steam pipe needs to come from here too. So we'll say here, and then the steam will come off of this side. Let's say this is steam high, right? It's all coming through here. So we'll just be basically dropping this down. Like this should be fine. And then we'll wrap it into there. And then this one can wrap into here. And then the water will come over like so. Like that. And also, I might as well just do two pipes because I can. Like that. And then we build that, and we build that. Thankfully, all the expensive stuff can be built really quickly because we're hoarding red parts. There we go. And this can start processing right away with the high pressure steam that we're already generating. And so this is going to then kick out water, which we want to, of course, get it into the system here. And so water is coming through there like this, right? So I think there's a better way to do this because I need to get water into the rest of the freaking world, right? Water needs to go. So I think I have to just go straight through here. So I'll bring this up to height 3, and I'll just have this run. I might have thought about this a little bit further and cleaned it up if I wasn't doing this, but it's fine. Your water pipe, right? Yeah. You go into the water system like so. And we'll go ahead and build you. And then finally we get you to come up, just hook to there. build that. And then the brine needs to be dumped, for which, for that, we can put a liquid dump. Oh, can we not fit it? We really can't fit that there. Okay, no problem. This is a liquid dump already. And since it's not being used much at all now, what we could do is just send it down here. So this could probably, yeah, from here. Let's say we, oh, I got that salt mine in the way, don't I? Again, it's not going to look clean. It's going to look really messy having all these belts everywhere, all these pipes everywhere, but I'm proof of concepting this right now, right? Because we're not going to complete it all the way. And then, yep, it goes up there like that. Okay. So it can reach, and you'll see that it's, oh, right there is where I wanted it. Come back, do that, please. Oh, got it, almost. And you're so close. There. All right, and then through here, and then we're just gonna drop it down and bring it across like so. And then bring it across like so. Okay, good. We'll deliver all this stuff, and that will send the brine that we create. It'll send it all the way down to that liquid dump. Easy. So now we'll see brine being dumped here, which is not polluting at all. And so again, another source of water on this side was super important, right? And then I wanted this water source to also get into this water tank if possible, which is very hard because it's all nested in here like this. But if I can just get that one little spot where it will connect, maybe it can go, yep, like there. And then I'll just come over like this, and that gets the water back into circulation for steam. So again, like, we're just trying to use resources, right? Use every resource to work for our benefit. That's what I have to do better. Use every resource. And even the depleted steam, I wasn't converting it into water, right? I undervalued water. And so, yeah, next playthrough, brand new map. I can't even tell you what it is because I don't know. Like, I'm going to install the new version of the game immediately after hitting stop on this recording. So I'm totally blind on that. I've looked at change logs and stuff on Steam, and that's it. But I don't have any insider knowledge, and I'm going to use a map that we've never seen before. I'm going to use a new map. So, yeah, this is going to be exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed. You can see the food supply has recovered. It's 16 months. 16 months is considered not low because of all of this, right? This is the problem with is that they are sucking down this food really fast, and like we are recovering. Right, the belt is, food's heading down the belt. I don't know what I'm gonna do for farms and stuff in the next map. Maybe the village will be near grasslands, and then I can have, like, you know, I can have the food made closer so it doesn't have to come from all the way over here. But it doesn't really matter how far it travels, because this thing starts farming, it starts working. Oh, see, it doesn't have any, it's delayed 8 months because of water. At least it was. Yeah, so I need to do more here. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. So thank you so much for watching this series. I very much appreciate it. I welcome your feedback. I do. And I'm going to start EA early access. That's what that means. I'm going to start the early access, version of it all. Apparently, I'm not getting the Steam anymore. Yeah, see, I need to do better with that and numbers and stuff, right? This part here was just like an improv thing. I didn't even calculate this, but we're going to do better on that next time. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.